Alright, so we get down to Comic-Con and we're trying to think of a plan of attack to get our exclusives on Wednesday night. For one, it's just nice to get them locked down. You don't know what's going to sell out. You don't know what the line's going to be tomorrow. People actually get in line Wednesday night instead of going into the show in the Hasbro line to get a ticket to get into the Hasbro line in the morning. So that's how serious it is getting in this Hasbro line. So my boy gets me in early. We have the Hasbro booth surrounded before they open. As soon as they say the show's open, I jump in this line, he jumps in that line. He didn't make it, I made it. I sit in line for an hour and a half on preview night. That sucks because you want to check out the show, but you also want to get your toys. So I get in there, I buy everything that, you know, they make you fill out a card. You're allowed 2 per person basically. So I buy 2, I hook him up. Later in the show, he hooks me back up. I take pictures, I put them up. I'm like, hey, you know, this is my haul. I'm stoked. And then some of you guys start hitting me up. Is there any way you can get me a Ninja Turtle set? I would really appreciate it. For one, those things sold like shit at the show. There wasn't a line at NECA. You could walk right up and you could buy as many as you want. I don't think they ever sold out. So I was like, dude, that's $200, man. I don't know. And then a couple more of you guys hit me up for the store box set. And I was like, well, I'm already maxed out. But then on my wife, she had 2, she could buy 2 on her batch. And then I'm like, man, I'm gonna be like $500 if I buy these guys stuff. And then I tell my wife, and I'm like, hey, these guys want me to buy, but I'm gonna be out $500. She goes, so what? You got the money. Buy them stuff. They're gonna pay you back. And I'm like, wow. And she goes, you know what it's like to not get your toys, right? It sucks, doesn't it? I'm like, yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world. She goes, then hook these dudes up. She goes, I'll make sure that they PayPal us the money. I'll charge them what we paid for them. We're not going to charge them anymore because I'm not a scalper or a dickhead. And they'll pay what we paid plus shipping and then send them out. So I get these guys toys. They PayPal me the money plus the shipping and everything. I ship them out. And then all of a sudden this comes in the mail. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This dude, Victor, hit me up for a Thor set. I go, no problem, bro. I got you. I'll hook you up. And he sends me this for free. Now, obviously he watches my channel because he knows that I don't have this. And on these Revoltech figures, I like them, I don't love them. And I'm in too deep on everything else. And that's why I passed on the line. But the Venom, this is the one that I really wanted. Because that whole kind of like, that import feel of them translates really well with Venom. So I was like, man, if I get any of those figures, I'm going to get the Venom. And I probably said this in one of my videos. And all of a sudden, Victor mails me this for free. So Victor, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's check it out. Oh, and by the way, I still got an extra Thor set. So if you want it, it's $108 plus shipping. Let me know. Alright, so here's this Venom out of the package, and he's standing right about 6 inches. And I was kind of hoping he'd be a little bit bigger when I got him out of the package, but I'm sure my wife is hoping it was going to be a little bit bigger when she got it out of the package. So I guess we're both a little disappointed in the size of it. But here he is. And the reason why I passed on this line, number one, they're expensive, and I already do a lot of really expensive lines. So the added expense of a whole nother line of characters that I already have, I just couldn't justify. And the anime, Japanese kind of a look to these figures, I am not digging that at all. Unless it's Venom, because that totally works with this character. Alright, so this is probably going to take a while because there is a lot to go over on this figure. For one, the thing I never really liked about these toys was this weird like ball joint here. But as you see on Venom, it hides really well. And it's easy, like you can get it in tons of poses to where you can't even see that at all. The articulation on this is probably the most articulated action figure I have in my toy room. So they really killed it on that, which I'm not real big on posing my characters. But when you get this thing in your hand, like you just want to mess with it for like 20 minutes because the articulation is actually really fun on this thing. So we'll go over it real quick. First off, the head, like the top skull part, like pops off, and then you can change his eyes out. So this is like the two open eyes. So that looks really good. And then the tongue, it also has a joint in it. You can pop that out if you want to pose him with the mouth closed. So that's also really cool. Like I definitely like that as well. The head like is jointed on the top, so you can do them like where his head is like crooked, the jaw's jointed, the top part of the head is jointed, the bottom of the neck is jointed. I mean, it never ends with this figure. Like you just play with it, and you just can't believe the poses that you can get this thing into. It has these weird like shoulder plates back here to where this whole thing swivels. So that's also like, that's some articulation I've never seen before. Not familiar with that at all. And then hidden inside here is that weird ball thing. So like depending on how you turn it, you can get that thing in different angles, and it clicks, it ratchets, so it actually holds really well. A lot of these joints are really loose and it almost feels like it's going to fall apart. But on some of these, like this one, like you really feel the stiffness in there, and like you can put that arm anywhere and it will actually stay there really good. So here's that weird ball thing, but the color blends in so well to where it doesn't bother me at all. So the articulation on this thing, it's just endless. On the wrist, it also has that weird ball, and then the fingers are all jointed. Like, man, that's good. Really, really cool on that. And then here, like that weird ab crunch thing, like it has that ratchet in there, and mine falls apart really easy on this joint. Like if you're messing with them or posing them, this will fall apart. The little stomach piece will hit the ground. You got to send your kid in here with a flashlight to find it. And then the bottom part, it clips in there with like these kind of like these things. It comes with an extra one. I'm not real sure what that's for, but these are basically what these balls look like when this thing falls apart. It does turn at the upper, turns at the lower. It's got a ball here, or a barbell, and a barbell here, so tons of movement there. The upper thigh is kind of like, I don't know if that's on a ball. It seems like it's only going back and forth there. Does have like this weird joint here, so there it is. Like the butt plate looks good, like nice muscle, strong guy butt there. Okay, moving on. And then the knee has this double knee, which works really well. And see, like when you move that, it looks clean no matter where you move it. Like normally there'll be a hinge or a weird thing there, not on this. So that definitely looks really good there. Let me see if I can see. There's that joint I was talking about. I couldn't get to move on the other one. So it's got the joint up here at the upper thigh. Look how clean that comes together. So there's tons of articulation on this, and it looks amazing. Normally when figures have tons of articulation, they just look gappy, jointy. I'm not into them at all. But that's not the case on this figure. Like, they really killed it. Granted, this is a really expensive toy. I think he's like 80 bucks. So it's like the same price as like Mezco. But I mean, I don't know, your call. I think you're kind of getting your money's worth. He's pretty awesome. And then you got that ball here, which you can see it. So it'd be nice if that was hidden a little bit better, but you don't see any like holes for pins or anything. And then it does have the toe articulation. So they killed it there. And then it's got these tentacles on the back. These plug in, and these little holes, when you do these bottom two, they actually aim down. They don't go straight in. It took me a second to figure that out. I was very careful. I didn't want to break it because, I mean, you break this thing, good luck getting your money back. So it's got the ball here, and it's also jointed at the upper here. So you can put those things in tons of poses. If you don't like them, they just plug right out. Well, I suppose, there you go. Well, I guess it unplugged it wrong, but you get what I'm saying. So you got that. There's a figure. I actually really like this thing. I'm going to throw him up here on the stand. He comes with this, so you can clamp this around his waist. If you don't want to do that, then there's this little hole on his back. You can plug it in there. And now the part that I was dreading, because of how many Venom action figures I have. Hopefully they're going to fit on my stand, and we're going to check out the collection. Okay, so this is why I was dreading this part of the video, but I do get to clean that glass shelf where I took all these off of. I'll walk through them. So this one is probably still my favorite Venom of all Venoms. It's a Select, Marvel Select variant. It's the one with the spider on his chest. They also made one without. That one didn't make any sense to me. Then you have the new Hasbro one. Might be my least favorite out of all of them. There's the old Toy Biz one back there. Another old Toy Biz one. That one kind of looks like the Max Space Venom. One that's kind of blue. Another Select one, which that might be my second favorite. He comes with tons of options as far as the head goes. The clear one, another really cool Toy Biz one. Can't really see that one very good. The movie one, this one's also pretty cool, like how his costume's kind of like half torn off. My kid's Lego one. Agent Venom, I got the Toy Biz one. And then the Select one. So here's the Revoltech one. He is good. He's up there with the tops. There's the collection. Thanks for watching.